Good morning, everyone. How are you today? God bless you. Well, here are my thoughts today. Kind of interesting thoughts, actually, as I am thinking about what God said to me months and months and months and months ago about being positive and how negativity is non-existent. And in actuality, negativity is non-existent when you live in positivity. Now, how does that concern us when we're rooted in a narcissistic relationship? Excuse me. Well, as you know, and you can probably agree, narcissists are extremely negative. Oh my gosh, they live in negativity. They live for negative. And that doesn't jive with who you are. So, thinking about this, the narcissist affects your jive. The narcissist affects your spiritual essence in the way of they upset and uproot your spiritual dynamic that needs to live and thrive in positivity. That is why we become symptomatic. We show symptoms of trauma because we're not living in our true authentic self. We're not living the true authentic life that we were meant to live. So how do we do that? Like attracts like. You become what you hang around, and that is the reason why a narcissist does what they do. They are the harbingers of negativity. You want a different life? It's not up to the narcissist to make that life change for you. It's got to be you. There's a saying, if it's gonna be, it's gotta be me. You are not only the oar, but you are the master and commander of your own canoe. Seriously. Go watch my videos from the very beginning 10 years ago to now. You'll see the transition. It doesn't happen overnight. Understanding does happen overnight, but until you start living that understanding, you're always going to fall short of yourself. Here's what I've learned. I have always desired to be loved. I have always desired to feel love from a man. I have always desired, and I'm going to get vulnerable with you guys here, but I have always desired to feel that physical, loving connection, that tender-hearted connection with a man. And I never thought it was possible. I never thought it was possible. Because as you guys know, I was sexually molested as a child. So I knew of the toxic ways of physical intimacy. My innocence was taken from me. Now, not having a daddy to protect me and to guide me also added to that sexual it wasn't a hang-up. It was a sexual trauma. And women, we date to find the father figure for our children and to find the nurturer as our fathers nurtured and protected and guided us. We look for that in a mate. Well, I didn't have that. And many of us don't have that, even though our fathers are with us and they come home 9 to 5. They're not interacting with us and teaching us and leading us and guiding us in the ways that they should and need to. So our daddies fall short. They fail us. Okay, so we get that. So in my narcissistic relationships I was forming, I was trying to find the daddy figure to prove to the daddy figure that I'm worthy of protecting, I'm worthy of love, I'm worthy of nurturing, I'm worthy of guidance, I'm worthy of being the apple of his eye. But because the father figure, the stand-in, molested me, I gravitated to narcissistic men who were highly, highly sexual. They were sexual and with no empathy. Oh man, that leads for a world of heartache. So coming out of this, I have met individuals who are nurturing, who are giving, and who do not just look at sex as something physical. They appreciate it. They respect it. They honor it with who they are. And for that, I'm so very thankful. Because I was beginning to think, oh my gosh, there's nobody in this world who, really understands what it's like to be human. Well, in seeing this in my world today, I understand, as I've understood, that I had to get myself right with me. I had to stop emotionally torturing myself. I had to stop physically torturing myself and giving into that sexual prowess of just abusing my body for the sake of physical gratification. I had to honor my sex. I had to honor my femininity and masculinity, and I had to honor my entire being as a spiritual individual living the physical existence. And when I began to honor myself in all ways, that's when the narcissist started to leave. I stopped attracting them and started attracting beautiful people into my life. Now, are those beautiful people, are they perfect? No, because I'm not perfect. There's still some hiccups to work along the way, but the love is there. And the love that other people have for themselves, I'm seeing it. And I'm seeing their healthy boundaries. I'm seeing my healthy boundaries, and I'm seeing that we both have a mutual respect for each other. God help that person. There's somebody on the side of the road. And this is why I'm sharing this with you, because I've been there. I know, as I've said this, as I've cried out to God in frustration, as I've beat myself up verbally, like, Shannon, what the hell is wrong with you? Why can't you get this? Why can't you see? It's going to take as long as it takes, because the trauma runs deep. And psychologically speaking, for every one negative that you have in your subconscious, you got to counteract that with 4 positives in your conscious thinking mind. And you've got to act upon those 4 conscious, beautiful, benevolent, loving, awesome things. You can't just say, oh, yeah, well, that's good, okay, and then go ahead and do your thing and fall into those negative patterns. You want to know what true rebuking means? Because you got to rebuke yourself as you got to rebuke the narcissist. True rebuking means that you know what is right, and you stand in knowing what is right to do what is right. And you make no excuses. You make no allowances. You do not compromise on that rightness. So, for example, if the narcissist borrows your car and gets a speeding ticket, and you have to pay that speeding ticket because obviously they won't. But they're like, give me the keys to your car next time. You cannot, if you cannot trust them, which you can't, you cannot allow them to have access to your car anymore. Hide your keys. Keep your keys with you. Risk them verbally abusing you. Risk them leaving you. Stand in your power, because that's the only way the narcissist cannot control you. And that is the rebuke. You don't rebuke. I thought rebuking was with action, with verbal. And it is. You can say the Lord rebuke you all you want. But you have to show that rebuke. And how you show that rebuke is to stand against them in the way of standing in your own truth, in your own power, in your own strength, in your own integrity and authenticity. What does it mean to be authentic? It means to live the way that you want to live and make no excuses for it. It means holding yourself accountable to the wrong things that you do in any given circumstance. It means loving yourself enough to know yourself, enough to navigate yourself in this world by you, through you, for you. And yes, we do this for Jesus. But living for the narcissist, is that living for Jesus? Is that living for you? No, you and Jesus are one. So when you're living for the narcissist, you are committing adultery against Jesus and against yourself. Ooh. Okay, so I gotta go concentrate on traffic here, and I've got more to say. And yeah, go make your day great. I love you. Be blessed.